inside my head, pulling me into the blue. And my mind keeps racing while I'm chasing something electrical or true. I don't know what you're thinking, you've been drinking, baby. I'm not bulletproof. Sometimes I dream away all the things I wish I would have said to you. It's like 1,000 voices in my head telling me how to get through. And I can't stop thinking of a time when everything was simpler. I don't know who you are anymore, but I can't seem to let you go.
You are. Hello, can you hear me now? The mute is working. Sorry about that, you guys. Welcome to another episode of New Teacher Talk. Now that I have my video or sound working, apologize. Happy Friday. Today we are talking about Team Building Tuesday. Yes, good. Okay, you can hear me now. Awesome. So let me know what kind of, do you like games? Are you a card game, video game, board game? Are you one of those types of people? My family are huge card game types of people. We like to play Uno and Phase 10 and just all kinds of, any kind of card game. That's our jam in our family. So today I'm going to talk about some of the things that I do in my classroom for team building. I have 5 different games I'm going to share with you today that are low prep, easy. You don't need a whole lot of things to do it with. And let's get started. So first, why team building? So I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first, well, actually up until probably the last couple years, team building was something I did at the beginning of the year while we were doing like get to know you type of activities. And then I sort of let it go to the side as I got into the curriculum and just didn't feel like I had the time because I was trying to cover all the standards and everything I was supposed to cover. So then I work at a school that is a Leader in Me school now. And so part of that is having like a morning leadership time. And so one of those things I decided to try was what we call Team Building Tuesday. And so I started doing it every week, and it became my students' favorite day of the week. Like when we went to virtual learning, they were like, are we still going to do Team Building Tuesday? So I did it virtually. And then when they filled out their end of the year slideshows, it was by far the number one thing that they said they loved the most about fourth grade was Team Building Tuesday. So first of all, students 100% love it, but it is beneficial because it teaches communication, working with groups of people. It helps them to problem solve. All of those are beneficial when doing team building activities. It also, which I think is really important these days, is it teaches, because sometimes there are a winner and a loser in the game, and it teaches students to be humble winners and gracious losers so that you don't get so upset about if you lost or you brag that you won, those types of things. So I do think it's very important, something that I would suggest you try to incorporate more this year besides than just at the beginning of the year. So I went through the list of games that we had played this year and tried to find the most popular ones for my students, because I felt like if they liked those games the most, then hopefully your students will like them the most as well. I did not come up with any of these games. I either heard about them through social media, whether on Instagram, or I Googled some team building games. So I don't know the exact sources of where they all came from. The first one is called Pass the Clap. So everyone in the class stands in a circle or sits in a circle, and you start, and what you do is you turn to the person beside you and you have to try and clap at the same time. And once you clap at the same time, then they turn and go to the next person. So the clap passes around the circle. Now, I don't know why they love this game, but it was a really easy game. And what was interesting to see how it took them a little while to figure out how to time their clap right. And what they learned was it actually helps for you to look in their eyes of when you're going to clap than rather at their hands, because you can't quite time that right. And so once we got around the first time, they're like, we've got to do that again. So they were able to do it faster, and then we tried to beat our time. So it was a really fun game, real easy game, no prep at all. Just get in a circle and let's pass that clap around the circle. The next activity is called Meet Me in the Middle. So also have students get in a circle. This one does work better if you're standing because there's movement involved. But what you do is we go around the circle and have that person say, meet me in the middle if, and they can say anything they want to say. So meet me in the middle if you like Super Mario Brothers. And then if you agree, you go to the middle, and then everybody steps back out to the circle. And then the next person will go, meet me in the middle if your favorite food is pizza. And then, so that's a great beginning of the year one, get to know you. They really like that one. It became one of those to kind of see who could up the ante on the meet me in the middle thing. Yes, Marissa, both of these games would actually work really well for social distancing. You may not be able to get super close in the middle, but if you spread around the perimeter of your classroom, you could just take a step forward. And then, pass the clap doesn't involve any kind of touching or anything like that. So the next game is called Compass Name Game. Now this one can be a little more difficult, so this might work well for the older grades because they do have to know left and right to know this one. So you have a circle of students. You can sit or stand. You can have, so one person is quote unquote it, and they're in the middle. And so they're either going to say you, me, left, or right. So they kind of go around this, there's like spin around the circle and they point to someone. And if they say you, then that person has to say their name. If they say me, then they would have to say my name. If they say left, they have to say the person on the left. And if they say right, they have to say the person on the right. And so it's kind of like a little strategy. You have to kind of like quickly figure it out. If you say the wrong name, then you become the it person. Or if you're not quite fast enough, you become the it person. They really love that. So it's called the compass name game, and they say you, me, left, or right. And you're saying the name of the person that the it person says. I hope that makes sense. Another fun activity that my students loved, we did this a couple of times, were either cup towers or index towers. And so you just give a group of students a cup and see who can build the cups and see who could build the tallest tower with cups. And then I also did it with index cards. And what I really like about the index cards one is they have to kind of think through how to use it, because the rules with the index cards are they are not allowed to cut the cards. But I don't tell them this right away. I see if they figure this out. They can bend the cards. So that works really good for problem solving and working as a team. And then the last activity I have for you guys today is actually an activity we did in a faculty meeting. And then I did it in my classroom, and it was so much fun in the faculty meeting and in the classroom. So this is called a rock, paper, scissors quick tournament. So basically you just have your students partner up, and then they play one round of rock, paper, scissors. And then what happens is the person who loses that round becomes the person who won cheerleader. So if we play and you win, I would become your cheerleader, and you would go find somebody else who just won and try to beat them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheer for you, and I'm going to say, yay, let's go. You got this. You can beat them, and just kind of cheer them on. And it becomes real, because you're only playing one round, and it becomes real quick. And then your team grows. If whoever loses on that side, all of them become now your cheerleader. And you go around till you get down to the last two, and you have like half and half of the class cheering for each other. And then you have a grand winner. And then it takes literally like 5 minutes to do this, if that. And then we would play it again. So that is another one that you could possibly do with social distancing. You'd have to kind of guide them, give them a little more direction on their guidelines. So all of those are activities we played in the classroom. A couple of things we did virtually. Scavenger hunts were they loved a scavenger hunt. And so we did it several different ways. And the way that worked the best was we did a scavenger hunt where they had to find items in the room that they were in. Instead of going all over the house, because sometimes it would take them forever to come back, they had to do the room they were in. So that worked really well. We also played sort of like it's called 10 to win. And so what you would do is just say, hold up a finger if you had cereal. Hold if you're wearing socks, if you watched cartoons this morning. And so once you get to 10 fingers, then you would win. And you would just ask different questions. That's a real easy game. You could play that in your classroom as well. But that works really well on like a Google Meet or Zoom or whatever platform you're using. So I hope that gave you guys a few ideas of different activities to use in your classroom. I hope you will consider doing team building for more than just the beginning of the year. There are so many games out there. We played a lot of we played these a lot of different times. So it would always come back, can we play the pass the clap? Can we play the rock, paper, scissors tournament? Christine says, I play rock, paper, scissors, snake, where the kid loses, gets behind the winner in that round, so that by the end we have 2 long lines follow the leader style, and the kids love it. Yeah, that's very similar to this, except we weren't in a line, but I really like that. I think my students would like the snake version. I may have to use that this year. I love that idea. So just to give you a heads up on what is coming next week for New Teacher Talk, on Monday, we will be chatting about parent communication, different ways to communicate with parents and things like that. Wednesday, I'm going to talk about having a class website and a really easy to use platform for your class website. I'll even show you my class website. And then Friday, we're going to chat about digital learning and really sort of what I'm planned to do this fall. Don't quite know yet what's going to happen in my district. Things are changing daily. So I'm just planning for who knows what. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for being here. I don't think I introduced myself, so if you're new here, I'm Rachel Vincent, and I help new teachers discover how to run an effective and efficient classroom so that they can thrive their first years. I do have a guidebook for first-year teachers that is free. If you are interested, you can visit missrachelvincent.com/guidebook to download and find all of those great tips and ideas. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. Bye.